Okay, yesterday we have covered some of the field, custom field creation. So we have different field types, and in those we have covered text area long, text area rich. So we have see what are the options available there. And let's see how the fields are showing up in the record. So we need to go to the tab to create any records. So we have to go to projects, or we have to go to the or we have created an app. So we can directly go to the app. So where we can see this tab available. So we have projects. So in the projects, when we click on this new button, then we can create a new records. Okay, when you look at, so there is only one column it is using, and what are the fields we're adding, it's keep on adding to one below the other. So we have a lot of white space here right side, so we can align. And if you feel that these fields are not together, we need to group this field into some sections. So we have seen like only one title saying the information, but these are all not the information. Something is related to the company information, something is related to the project information. So we need to split this whole section into different sections, and we want to arrange these fields. So how we can do it? So there's a feature called the page layouts. In the page layouts, we can control the position of the fields, and we can create different sections, and even we can make some of the fields as a read only as well. Okay, let's see how a page layout looks. So if you remember last time when we discussing, so usually we have, if you have to go to the object thing, we have to go to a wheel and setup and object manager and search for a project. So search for an object. If you want directly jump into this object, so you are on the project tab. If you want directly jump onto this object setup, so you can directly use this navigation from setup. You see a edit object. So if you click that, you will be directly redirect to this page where we will have multiple fields. Okay. So where we created new fields, in fields and relations, we'll create a new fields. Similarly, there is a next to the fields and relations, we have a page layouts. In page layouts, we can create a multiple page layouts. And there's one more option called page layout assignment. We'll come back to this part later. But when we have a multiple page layouts, you will see like a list view over here. Okay, let's open this page layout. Okay, here in the page layout, you see there are so many things. If you observe carefully, so here you can see if you have a multiple page layouts, you can switch between the layouts here, which are belong to the same object, that you can talk or switch between the layouts, one option. And then you have a save, quick save, preview as, cancel, undo, redo, layout properties. So these are all there, and there are something called mini page layout, mini console view, video tutorial, help for this page, custom console component as well, and the help. Okay, we'll come back to this all later. So only main things you need to focus in the page layouts are these are the sections: fields, buttons, quick actions, mobile and lightning actions, expanded lookups, and related list, report charts. Okay, so now what we are doing is a fields, arranging the fields. I'll come back to this all later. So here we are trying to create some sections and arrange fields in however we want. Okay, so these buttons you see right in this button section, we can control all this buttons, whatever you see here. We can control these buttons, we can add or remove those buttons. So I don't want to dig deeper there. So we are here to control the fields. So you see all these fields are what are disabled, they're already below. You see when I click here, it's getting highlighted below. Okay, now I want this is showing us information, that is section. So I want to edit this section. So it is a default section. The title we cannot change. So it is for edit and detail page also. And what should be the tab key order? So it's one column or two column or left to right, top to bottom, how you want. You can place everything over here. So if you see here, this is like a top to bottom. Whenever you add a new field, so it will keep on adding like this. So if you say left to right, what will happen was whenever you add a new field, automatically it will use left, right. So if you set this one, then you know to come here and arrange. So it will automatically take care if you select this option. So it will not leave this white space. Okay, I'm giving it as a two column view. So I'm keeping it as this. And for now, I want to adjust this bit. So first I want to create a section over here below this section. So I would say customer information. I'm keeping the same I'm using before that. So I want to move some of the fields to the customer information section. So one is about customer and what about customer office address. These two are related to the customer. And I want to add one more section and I want to maintain the project information. Project information. Okay. In the project information, I have like a project lead, project start time, and okay, and then I want one more section called contract information. Contract information. Hope I was able to hear and you can see my screen. I don't see any response. Okay. Here I had a contract. Okay, so here, if you see, I want, so it's a rich text field. I want to make it as only one big column. And I want to see this field uh, as a big section. This way, I make it as a, in the section, I make it as a one column. Okay, so you can move to left or right. And in the setting, here you see whether you want to make it required or read only fields. So even though we have like two options, right? We can make a required field when we're creating a field. And there is a one more step where we can make the field required from the layout. But you have to remember this required field only work from the layouts, from the UI when you're trying to do, it will ask only, it will restrict you from save if you're not providing this value. If you're doing from a backend, this will not work. When we're doing on the page layout or apps, it's completely a UI. If you're using the same UI, then only this page level settings or page level required or read only, this only work on the page level. Remember those. So we can make a read only or field as a required field. Okay. Done. And below you can see related list. So we'll come back to this section later. Okay, I want to save it here and I'm saving and I'm going to the before tab and I want to refresh page. I'll open any of the existing project. See here, now all the fields turn into different sections. Customer information, project information, contract information. If you're trying to edit, see before, like you see this rich text field, it is shrink to half of the screen. Now you can see the full screen, and these are like half of the screen and side by side, left and right. And if you're trying to save here, it will not allow you because I make it as a project start time as a required field. So I have to give value, then only it will allow me to save the record. So if I get the field and save, then okay, it will allow. The thing was, if you have already having some records and if you're adding any kind of validations at field level or page level, so after you're making a change, if you're trying to edit any of the records, then only it will show the validations. Even though if you're not making any change and trying to save also, it will not allow you. Why? Because now you have the validation. Even though the previous records are already saved to the database, we cannot throw error on them. But when you're trying to edit them and when you're trying to create new records, then all the validations will work. But already saved records, it will not throw any error. But when you're trying to edit the same, still it will show an error when you have a validation after you're having some records in an object. Remember those. Okay, now let's go back to the remaining fields. So any questions so far here? How to arrange the fields, create sections and page layouts and on page layouts. Good. Okay, I'm taking it as a good. Okay, fields and relations. Okay, we have taken some fields and creating a furthermore new fields. So to create a text area long, encrypted, not time. Okay, let's take a URL field. And next, I will say customer website. Okay, the customer report, nothing new here. Okay, help text. Okay. Just I'm refreshing how it looks. See here, whenever you add a new file, new field, by default, it will come into the first section and in the same order. So if you want to try to give, you can give some website. Yes, I'm trying to see. Let's okay. So we are working on the website. Okay, so maybe in a few days you might access this. So I'm giving a website here and say you can directly use this link as a clickable. Okay, that's URL one and then no field. So URL we have seen, time seen, mission will cover, exterior. Okay. We have some other field called phone field. One is usually like it's will allow you to give different formats of a phone. And okay, let's create a customer phone. I'm just keeping it as a phone only. Excuse me. Next. So we already know all this. So just clicking next for all things. Then we have a email field. I'm doing it fast. Why? Because all of these are like straightforward fields. So making it as a required field. I'm making it as an external ID. So you see all this now. Unique external ID required. So far, like what all the fields we see. On text field, we have external ID, and on an email, we have see the external ID. And now we're going to create email. We had a number. I'm doing. I don't know, it won't be more than 10 digits. That's why and we don't have any decimal places for number of people. So not required field. So this is a number field. Number field also will be an external ID. Okay, and then doing the next. Okay. And then more field. Then let's say checkbox. Is first one. First project from a customer. From customer. So you see here, is by default value, you can see either checked or unchecked. So already existing records, you don't have any value, whether checked or unchecked, you don't have any value. But in UI, it will be shown as unchecked. In query backend, so it will in the UI, it will be like tick mark, right? Whether it will be like a blank box or it will have a tick mark on top of the box. But in the backend, it will store like a true or a false. That's how it will store in the backend. But in UI, it looks like a checkbox or unchecked box. The remaining most of the fields are like already we have explained and self-explanatory fields only, which I'm not explaining much over here. Okay, and then I've seen checkbox field. and let's say the currency field. When you, we have already seen the number field, right? Let's see what will be the difference when we do a currency field. So if you read here, allow users to enter any number, leading zeros are removed. So if you enter any leading zeros, it will automatically remove and store. And if it's a currency, allows user to enter a dollar or other currency amount and automatically formats the field as a currency amount. This can be useful if you export data in Excel or any other spreadsheet. So basically number and currency both will be storing the same. In the back end, it will store a decimal value. That means you can control the decimal positions and numerical positions. But thing was currency will field will help you in the UI. You can see that symbol of your currency. If it's INR, INR, if it's a dollar, dollar, if it's a euros, then euro symbol. So whatever the currency of your customer, you can automatically take care of the displaying that symbols beside your number, and which will be used in exporting data. So we have a reports and we can export the data in that the field or the column will be formatted as a currency, so that you will understand this is something, the revenue or income, which will be the value in the money, that you can understand if you use a currency field. That's what mainly difference between the currency and number. Most of them are same except this. So we'll see same, the length will be maximum 18. How many decimal places you give, the same number of places you have to reduce here. Let's say if I'm giving like here 4 decimal places, it will not allow you to give 18 here. Here you have to reduce. Let's see. Revenue and to okay, and if I'm trying to say, it should restrict me. See here, so if whatever the places you have to decrease the same positions there. If I'm given any different number, it will not allow. So I have to give 14 at least. So 14 plus 4, 18. So 18 decimal, 18 digits of place is set now. So it will allow now. So you have to remember, when you have big numbers to store, then you have to reduce the decimal places. When you have more decimal places, you have to compromise on the numerical size as well. And you anyway, like you can have below that. So it's not managed to have 14. Even if you have a 10 also, it will allow, but it will not. Combining the both numerical and decimal places, you should not exceed the 18 digits. Same for currency and number field also. Both will be same. Okay, checkbox covered. Okay, date fields. So date field allow users to enter date or pick a date from a pop-up calendar. So when you select a date, so from the UI, it will automatically show you the calendar. So usually if it is text or a checkbox or a numerical, there's no pop-up will come, right? Automatically, whatever you enter there, it will be stored. It is a number. Number with checkbox means either you can check or uncheck. But here date, when you set as a, and we have seen it time. When you're selecting a time, you have some options, right? So when you click it, or it's showing some suggestions like with a 15 minutes of a split, it's showing all the values in the time. Similarly, a date, if you see any web page, when you're selecting a date, it will show some kind of a calendar, and from calendar you can pick the dates, right? So it's just kind of similar UI it will give when you give a date. And one more advantage is when you use a date field, then you're having a multiple time zone users. So you have 100 the users in your company or in an organization, and all are working in a different time zones. Let's say Nandini is in US and now we are here. So if we have created one more user for Nandini and set time zone as what is, if it's EST or VST, if you time set there. So if I create a record now, so we have 3 a.m. here. So it will not show 8 a.m. for Nandini. So whatever the time now in her calendar, in her clock, same time will be shown to her if she opens the same record. The same record is open from a different time zone users. It will be shown whatever, even though if whatever the date I gave, so it is in Kolkata time zone now. So if open based on their time zone, it will convert to their time zone. So if I'm saying like 8 a.m. 26th October, so now whatever the time for the other time zone, it will convert to the time zone and display to the user. So that's what when you use a date fields, even though if you're storing the time for your time zone, it will be stored in the database as a what we have to say. We have this one, right? The zero time zone. We don't have any the base time zone as a GST or what it is. Plus 530 GST we see, right? So we see that GMT, sorry, GMT plus 530. So we have one time zone called GMT 0. That means we're not adding any time or we're not subtracting any time. So it will store in a GMT time. And based on logged in users time zone, it will do that addition or subtraction calculation of the current user's time zone and display in the records. That's what a date or date time fields do. Only date and date time. Time, it will not do anything. Time is kind of some fixed time, right? 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So that will be fixed. That will not change based on time zone. The only things that will change based on time zone is only date and date time fields. It will store in the backend as a GMT data. And when it's displaying in the records or any other report, then only it will convert based on logged in users time zone and display. So when you're working project, you will face different things like when you're having different time zones, how to handle. So the thing was when you query in the backend, so it will give you in the GMT date, not in the your logged in users. So when you're having a custom codes and backend logics based on dates, right? So the date what you get from your query and from database is from a GMT time zone. It's not a end users. Even though all your users is from a all users of your org is from India also. Still, the Salesforce in the backend will store the date and date time fields in GMT time zone. But based on your settings in the display, it will change and display. I'm stressing so much here. Why? Because it will be useful more when you're really working on the projects. Okay. I'm giving here project start date. Any questions here? Okay, I'm giving a new field and I'm going to use the date and time. is to create some data for the different fields. I'm using it. Okay. So I want to make here as show form. Here I want to give some default value. Can see organization profile system user and user. Okay. I'm going to give it as a today's date. So whenever I create a project, if they're not giving any approved date, I'm trying to keep the approved date as whenever it is created. So I'm just giving it as a now. Okay. And just doing the next. Next. Say. Okay, let's see what other we have left. Okay, this all we'll explain tomorrow. The number, formula, lookup, master, external lookup. So we have cover checkbox, currency, date, time, email, okay, geolocation. Yeah. Let's create a geolocation. Degrees and minutes you want to store here or decimal places, how you want to store. Let's keep it as decimal values. Decimal places. mm, Places. Four, let's give it four. First location. Let's see these. And what else? So you have to observe things, to define location, attitude, longitude, components, and can be used to calculate the distance. Okay, even you can use this fields to calculate the distances. Okay, the number you have seen in percentage what we have to see. Okay. What percentage what we can say here? They are growth here to and to to so basically it's kind of CAGR means average growth rate. So usually like when we have company revenues and profit side, so they'll measure in a CAGR. It's just over. Customer. Okay, so I have to remember this will be stored only in a decimal places. So let's say the percentages. you have to remember that is if you enter 100 in the back end, it will store it as a 1. So what is actually a percentage means? So divided by 100, right? So that's how in the back end also it will store. And in the UI, it will show in the percentage symbol and multiplied by 100. That's what how the percentage will go. The percentage fields. Remember, percentage will store in the backend as a whatever in the UI you enter divided by 100 and it will store. Okay, let's see how the fields are looks like now. So it will add everything in the information section. So here, so we need to, if you want to split into the page layout, you can do everything. This I'm trying to edit and how the all looks. Okay. So you see phone number, you can give any phone number and email. Just I'm giving some test mail for now. So let's take, I'm not giving a valid email. Number of employees, I'm not giving this one. This is the first project, yes. The venue is something like that. Okay, 3 million. And so you see, it will automatically changing it to a comma separated and dollar values. Or that's when it started, it will give a date. So you see the calendar is coming in. So you have option to select the any date over here. You can pick and even you can type over here as well. That is also fine. When you have a date time, you can pick